Dun, 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 dun. Here is some Trews today. Here is some Trews. Here is some Trews today. Here is some Trews today. Dum 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 dum. I was on Match of the Day, wasn't I? There they are. There's the Prime Minister of England there, and his wife. They've done something for charities. That's not a bad thing, but weren't they thinking during the time they were running along doing this charity event? If only there was some other way that resources could be allocated to these worthy causes. If only I was in a position where I could somehow control the allocation of resources so these worthy things, like, sort of hospitals, public services, had more funds. Oh, yeah, but remember, of course, I'm an establishment figure that my whole life has been educated to maintain that system. But I can do that, and then if I once in a while you dress up and I put this ridiculous lycra suit on, people won't care. They will be willing to ignore the obvious fact that I'm not willing to do the things I can do. Like, David Cameron, instead of going running, mate, do your job. Shit, the economy's in turmoil. Fill a bath with baked beans. Get me a bed of beans. It's hotting up in the Ukraine. Get me a bed of beans. Corrie on Kev. 3 in a bed, co-cromps, but still Lavelle is told his job is safe. Obviously, speculatively, but obviously, he ain't well. This paper want Michael Lavelle to lose his job. So they're just like trying to make us go, I think it's outrageous that Michael Lavelle, in this day and age, is having a co-cromp and keeping his job. I want a co-cromp. Have a co-cromp. Have a co-cromp. But I'll tell you this, as someone who's had 3 in a bed co-cromps, it's not that good. It's temporarily distracting. Moments of it are okay, but then you start to feel after, you think, oh, this ain't what I was put on the planet for, this 3 in a bed co-cromp. I feel this terrible emptiness, this sense of terrible loss and disconnection. And now I've got to go and do a scene with Ken Barlow. Champagne's image ruined by supermarkets' cheap deals, claim French. I loved its former image. Oh, it's lovely image. Now, what's its image? Champagne's image is not important. What about my image? I don't think you have an image. I just think you're a type of drink. Looking to buy your first home? The stamp duty's on us. Your home... Looking to buy your first home? The stamp duty's on us. Your home may be repossessed if you do not keep up repayments on your mortgage. Well, actually, it can't be, because it's against civil law to repossess a home if you, the homeowner, simply refuse to let the bailiffs in. Peacefully, without violence, refuse to let the bailiffs in. They can't evict you. It's due to something in the Magna Carta. You know that Englishman's home is his castle? I thought it was just a bit of a poem. That's a thing. Thatcher would be... Thatcher would be secretly cheering Farage. Hooray! Woohoo! Farage! Yes, go on, son, go on! Was that you, Margaret? Sorry, it was not me. Chair! And every single newspaper finds it impossible to resist referencing Now I Can Turn Back Time, because remember she's that song, If I Could Turn Back Time. Well, that'd be amazing, Chair. Can you? No. Oh. Her latest tour is entitled Dress to Kill, and she looks as though she means it. Well, I don't think she does. She's not just to kill anyone. It's a really ridiculous outfit. Could you describe the suspect? Yeah, she's wearing like peacock feathers coming out of her head, and it was Cher. Well, it's an open and shut case, sir. We should have no problem bringing the perpetrator to justice. Problem is, if only we could turn back time and prevent this crime. Can you turn back time? No. Give dementia patients trial drugs en masse. What are they going to do? They're idiots. Give it en masse. Just fill a trough with meds, push them towards the trough and let them eat like pigs. Thousands of dementia sufferers should be offered experimental drugs in the race to find a successful treatment. Don't give yourself the added pressure of it being a race. Just do the necessary work in the time constraints as they happen. We must do it by midnight! It's not Gremlins. If we've not invented these by midnight, all the Dementia sufferers will have pods come off them and go evil. There's that cat still with a branch with... I don't even know what it's got hanging off of the branch. I don't understand this. I've looked see this thing every day now. I still don't know what he wants me to do. It's a cat with a branch, and I now understand that they're little SIM cards. The scale is all wrong. The SIM card is littler than that. A cat wouldn't do that. I mean, what am I meant to do? What am I meant to do? Like, go out, get a branch, put some SIM cards on it, and wait for further instructions. Then we'll find out what that bloody jet is. This is to do with the jet, alright? Visit England! I'm in England! Do you know where we should go this year? Where? Nowhere, just stay perfectly still. Dr. Octa chocolate melts beautifully, bakes beautifully. Dr. Octa chocolate. I've never heard of that, have you? Dr. Octa chocolate. He sounds evil, doesn't he? Dr. Octa chocolate here. Is he? Oh no, now Boris Johnson, see what he's got to say. Boris Johnson, Mayor of London. The budget pensions revolution will at last allow people to spend their money as they wish. At last! People are being extra cruel about Ed Miliband, saying the reason he was so hopeless in his budget response was that he didn't really grasp what was being announced. That is allegedly why he flapped and frothed like a hyperventilating goldfish. He didn't understand what this annuity business was, and so he went into his stock rant about which schools everyone used to attend and which university clubs they belonged to. A bit much when you consider that both he and I were at the same prestigious forcing ground of talent that was Primrose Hill Primary School, Camden, or when you consider that Ed Balls himself was a member of an Oxford drinking club so egregious that he once appeared in the Nazi uniform. So Boris is making the same... I agree with Boris there, with this point. You're all cunts. It must be your fault. Look at your family. There's not one of them who isn't brown. Not one. Haven't you got one Aryan family member that you can produce at this time? Kill the Queen. You sure? I mean, I thought you all liked her. Kill her! Crazy Muslim terror nuts. I'm a crazy Muslim terror nut. I'm not a relaxed terror nut. I'm not a terror nut who is balanced. I'm a crazy one. I'm not a crazy Muslim professor. I'm a crazy Muslim terror nut. I'm a crazy Muslim terror nut. I'll kill the Queen. When? At the Derby. Why? Just for attention, basically. Are you actually going to... No, we never were. It's just a thing that could happen, like all things could happen. Thank you for your song. Right, I'll read you something that might be useful to you as you go on a quest through life. The inside of one's psyche is a very complex, sophisticated place. It's full of conflicting forces that are constantly changing due to both internal and external stimuli. Right, you're stimulated on the inside by maybe some jealousy or insecurity. You're stimulated on the outside. Maybe you desire some woman, or you're frightened of some bloke. I don't know what your life is like. This results in wide variations of needs, fears and desires over relatively short periods of time. Because of this, very few people have the clarity to understand what's going on. There's just too much happening at once to follow the cause and effect relationship between all of our different thoughts, emotions and energy levels. As a result, we find ourselves struggling just to hold it together. But everything keeps changing. Moods, desires, likes, dislikes, enthusiasm, lethargy. It's a full-time task just to maintain discipline, to create the semblance of control. When you're lost and struggling with all these psychological and energetic changes, you are suffering. While it may not seem to you that you're suffering, compared to what it can be, you are suffering. In truth, the very responsibility of having to hold it all together is a form of suffering. You notice this most when things start to fall apart outside. Like, say, I don't know, your wife leaves, your circumstances change. But what exactly are you trying to hold on to? The only things within you are your thoughts, emotions and movements of energy, none of which are solid. They are like clouds, simply coming and going through vast inner space. But you keep holding on to them as though consistency can substitute for stability. The Buddhists have a term for this, clinging. In the end, clinging is what the psyche is all about. I suppose you have to try to allow these feelings and impulses to pass. Like, you know, you see that the Queen might get murdered at the Derby, you think, oh no, you hear that the Queen would have liked Farage, ooh, Corrie Kev's had a threesome, hey, I want one. Or just allow that feeling to pass through your consciousness, knowing that it doesn't really mean anything, it doesn't really affect you, has no impact on you as an individual, doesn't really affect or change your life. Don't attach to that. Try and go within, deeper and deeper, and you start to see that, you start to feel a natural, beautiful connection to all of life, all humanity. And if you foster and nurture that, we'll all feel more connected to one another. I'll do it, yous all do it as well. We'll all feel a little bit better inside. Then we're going to go to the Derby, we're going to find the Queen, and we're going to get some Muslim nuts. That was some Trews, today. Subscribe to Trews, subscribe to Trews today. Subscribe to Trews by clicking on... Oh, Brian. Brian! Oh, Brian! Brian! Oh, Brian! You can click on Brian's immaculate sexual organs. Brian, give us a look, darling. Come on. No, they private. Fair enough. He doesn't want his balls filmed. Who can blame him? Good boy. Kissed his hand and that was weird. I love him quite a lot.